Hi, Gemini. Welcome to your April 2021 Astro Update. It's Raina here. And April, I think, is going to be a great month for you. It's going to start very social because there are several planets in Aries. And for you, Aries is the 11th house, which can be your social network. It can be the clubs or groups that you belong to. And the community at large, humanity at large, you could say. And so you may be involved with your friends more than usual. So we have, let's see, we have the sun there. We have, what other? Okay. Venus is there. And Venus can even mean that you're meeting some romantic interest through your friends or a group that you belong to, which I think is a really good thing, actually, to have shared interests, right off the bat there. And then on the third, Mercury, your ruler, goes into that house as well. And whenever your ruler, makes some kind of a transit, sit up and take notice, because that can be very, especially important for a Mercury ruled sign like you and Virgo, just to keep it 100% there. And so on the third, Mercury does go into that 11th house, and you could be contacting your friends, talking to them more often, maybe researching or contacting some group that you want to belong to. One thing I also want to say, did I say this was a house of hopes and wishes? I've started this reading like probably a half dozen times, so that's why I'm asking. I'm asking for a friend. Because the 11th house are the goals that you wish to reach. I like hopes and wishes better than goals, because I usually think of goals as more professional stuff, and I would assign that to the 10th house. That's just me. And so anything like if you have a particular place you like, a location that you would like to move to, for instance, or visit, like if you want to travel or you want to take a certain course or read a certain book. It doesn't have to be like a lofty goal, just any kind of thing. The traditional astrologers, from what I recall reading, considered this the luckiest house. I don't know why. I don't know if I even found that out. But so definitely take that into account as well. That, and if you think about achieving your dreams, then dream big and, believe that this is something that you can manifest. But it's important to note that you also have Chiron in this area as well. And Chiron makes this a tender area for whatever reason. So in friendships and groups, you may find that you're drawn to people for their healing qualities, or they bring healing to you in terms of their influence. And maybe even in the case of being drawn to healers, in, like kind of like maybe like a, what do you call it, like a self help group or something. What do they call, support group, something like that. That can be a really great thing during this year. And this is going to go on beyond 2021. Chiron is going to be here for a while. But I'm talking about, I shouldn't say this year, but in this specific period of time when you have such a teeming house, such a busy house in the 11th. And so in any case, on the 11th, there is a new moon here. So that's what I was really saying about if this is the luckiest house. There was an astrologer named Jane Spillman. I think she's passed now. I have her book, and she talks about, making new moon wishes when the new moon is in this house. And she is connecting it to it being the luckiest house. I found out about her from another astrologer on YouTube, and I went and ordered her book, and yeah, so that's why I say dream big. With Chiron here now, it isn't going to be aspecting with this new moon, but it still is in the same house. This may even be altruistic in nature because the 11th house is the humanitarian house. And so the dreams that you have for yourself, you may have for others. Or maybe you have a dream that will benefit humanity. So very interesting. And maybe you're going to make new friends. Also, the other thing too is I was talking about finding your tribe. So important in my opinion, because just socializing with people that you don't resonate with isn't really the kind of nourishment that we are truly seeking. And so maybe that's one of the goals that you have, is to find people who really get you and who you really resonate with. On the 14th, Venus goes into Taurus. And so we're starting to get, that's why I say mid-month on, we're going to start to have planets going into Taurus. And for you, Taurus is your 12th house, Gemini. So this becomes more quiet, secluded, and contemplative, this area of life. So Venus in the 12th, if you've met some kind of little honey, you may be like keeping them on the down low so that your friends, maybe you met them at a party, some social event, a group that you belong to, and you don't want the rest of the group to know you guys are dating because you just want to have that little time to get to know one another without prying eyes. Always like going and asking you, so how did it go? How did it go? This can also be meeting a soulmate, recognizing somebody as a karmic connection. And, I don't know if it should go without saying, but I do sometimes get people saying things of that nature. Oh, I think this person's a karmic connection. And remember, too, that a karmic connection can simply mean that you shared a past life together, but it doesn't say that the relationship was a good one. And I do believe, if we have these open enemies in our life, and even like an ex or a current partner, unfortunately, can fall into that category, or even other so-called loved ones that are supposed to be on our side and they aren't, there can almost be like this friendly, whatever you want to call it. I was going to say friendly rivalry, but it's not a rivalry, but this sense of like, okay, we've been doing this for eons, just going at it. And so there's a familiarity with these people that can feel comfortable even as it is aggravating and even worse. So just keep that in mind, because sometimes people say to me, oh, they felt like I've known them forever, or, something along those lines. And it's like, maybe you have known them forever, but has it been a good knowing? Has it been good outcomes? Maybe there's something you're still working out with that person, including discernment and being able to see right off the bat that somebody isn't right for you. Not tolerating that kind of nonsense from the get-go. On the 19th, we have a couple of transits of note. One is that your ruler Mercury is going into Taurus, so it is joining the party in the 12th. and then the sun is going there as well. So now we have 3 planets in the 12th house. Sun, Mercury, and Venus are all personal planets. Mercury in the 12th can make your mind more like psychic, imaginative, but also, I would say, perhaps muddled, where there is a hard time. You might have more misunderstandings. It might be like a Mercury retrograde almost, because it's like briefly having Mercury in Pisces, and that is not practical. That's not a practical mind. It's a very intuitive mind, though, so it can be great for seeing the truth of things, even being prophetic in some ways. This is the house of dreams, so that can, maybe it'll be very active in that sense. But there can be anxiety associated with Mercury in the 12th, because the unconscious mind is connected here, and this is your mind. Mercury is your mind, so it's getting activated on that level, and sometimes that can lead to feeling vague anxieties that you can't put your finger on. It's really a good time to meditate, because the mind is a lot of the problem, what we're thinking. And a lot of Geminis, I think, need to hear this. So if somebody needs to hear this, it's a Gemini. It's that just because you think something doesn't mean that it's true, or that it's real, or that, it's a good idea. And, Geminis really are attached to their minds, and their minds tend to run wild. And Geminis may have a hard time taming their mind. They may have monkey mind. That's why I say the ADD connection. And look, I'm a Sag, and I have Mercury in Sag, so I get it. And Mercury is the ruler of Gemini, so there is definitely something very, good and strong about your mind. But the mind has its domain where it's going to flourish. In the 12th house, this is a place to like put the mind on pause, or like you take your apps and you I wouldn't say disable them, but you disable your mind, but kind of put it on snooze for a bit and try to tune into higher frequencies. You might have a better chance. And the sun is here. This is your hibernation period before your solar return, so you may have gone through a period of socializing, and now you're withdrawing, and that's okay. Being more contemplative is never a bad thing. On the 23rd, Mars goes into Cancer, and now we're looking on the other side of your chart into the 2nd house. And this is your earned income sector. So Mars is leading the way, as it often does, even in terms of, how it acts, and getting you to hustle for money, giving you a sense of urgency about money, and that motivates you to taking action. And whatever that entails, whether it means that you get a second job, or maybe it's related to more hours on the job, and perhaps this is even you volunteering. This is just how it's going to be. There are certain sectors of the economy that I am sure are getting fired up now. It's funny because my bike is my main source of transportation besides my feet, and I have a really good lock, and I just recommend if any of you are cyclists out there to get like a good lock that costs, $100 or, at least like $80 from Kryptonite. I mean, I specifically recommend that brand. And they have a program that if you lose your keys, they'll send you more. And I actually applied a few months ago and didn't hear anything back. And now I guess they were on some kind of a furlough and they're starting to, look at their old emails. And I was like, I had forgotten about it by then, or more like given up. But, that gave me a good feeling because it makes me think that this is going to be happening across the board, that, factories are getting fired up again, and they're going to probably be hiring more people and just everything. And so just keep that in mind, because if you have the kind of job where you're manufacturing something, maybe you will be working more. The third house is also, I'm sorry, the second house is your self-esteem. So that can, you may become more assertive, especially during this time, and feel like you're deserving of going for, of asking for what you need, in other words. On the 26th, we have a full moon at 7 degrees of Scorpio. Scorpio for you is your 6th house of work. Now, this is going to pertain especially to earlier degree Geminis. I'm not going to get into actual degrees because, that might not be accurate. Later degrees, this may fall in your 5th house of romance. And, I mean, you have Venus in the 12th and the full moon in the 5th house. This could be like a dawning of like, wow, this is my soulmate. This is the person that I've been waiting for, something very romantic, or just a great idea for creative project, or maybe you're ending a creative project. For the other ones, technically, this is your 6th house, Scorpio. So for those that it's falling in your 6th house, this is work related, and it could involve anything from getting a promotion to walking off the job, believe it or not. The full moon brings things to a crisis point. So sometimes if somebody's been going through a lot of crap at work, they may just say, screw it. And, with Mars going into the 2nd house, there may be this feeling of like, I have to make money, but you don't, for some reason that is not going to happen. So who knows? I never thought about this. Maybe Mars in the 2nd house is demanding more money, feeling like, or even like self-esteem wise, like I'm worth more than this. And then, who knows? You call your boss on it, and they're not willing to do it, and you just walk off the job. But this could be getting a promotion because it is it's a time of something coming to fruition. It's like the harvest. So if you've been doing a good job, then it just stands to reason that you may get promoted, or some kind of recognition for that. The 6th house can be your coworkers, so you may discover something that they've been saying, maybe behind your back. I don't want to get people paranoid, but you know how that one goes. So, okay, that's what I have for you, Gemini. I hope that you enjoyed this. If you would like a personal reading, if you would like to look at the year ahead for you, have a chart analysis, all of the above, I have combination readings. I have, special deals on double readings. Please check the link below. Click on it, and you can find out more information and order. And anyway, I hope you have a great month. Take care. Bye.